We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby.
Yo, what's up, Chicago? And welcome back to episode 598, season 17. Yes. I am your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka MzHipHop. And this is Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm so glad you guys are in tuned. Please take the time out to follow me on Spotify. Please take the time out to follow me on Spotify. Okay, guys? Today is December 21st, 2:22 p.m. And I just want to say to you guys, it's Sunday, and I want y'all to have a beautiful Sunday. You know what I'm talking about? And with it being 2:22 p.m., I always look at angel numbers. So I'm going to look that up right now to see the meaning of 222, okay? The angel number 222 signifies balance, harmony, faith, and new beginnings, urging you to trust that things are unfolding perfectly, focus on relationships and cooperation, and maintain optimism, especially in love, career, and creative projects, as it suggests diving into divine support for unity and growth. It's a powerful message to keep believing, work collaboratively, and nurture connections, signaling good fortune and alignment. That is 222 angel number. And I can't urge you guys enough to please hit that follow button on Spotify, okay? I'm on other platforms too, but Spotify is where it's at, okay? Now, Chicago, in today's episode, we'll be talking about the collaborative studio album, Light Years, with the MC Nas and record producer DJ Premier. As I'm talking to you all, I have my cat Simon on my lap, so he loves Nas, so he likes when I play it. Now, Light Years, it released on December 12th, 2025 by Mass Appeal. It's the seventh and final album in Mass Appeal's Legend Has It series of albums that were released in 2025. Yo, let me just tell you, this is an honor to give this review today because so many people said that it was a bad year for hip hop, but between Big L, Mobb Deep, The Clips, Tyler the Creator, Joey Badass, and so many others, I beg to differ, okay? This has been an extraordinary year for hip hop, and Nas just keeps giving us hit after hit, rhyme after rhyme, and album after album, and so the story goes on. Now let's talk about the title, Light Years. Nas said that the title was thrown around so much that DJ Premier thought the title should be F a title, because he said he saw Nas doodling it on a sheet of paper one day. However, the actual title, Light Years, was because, excuse me, Nas believes that rap music is always ahead of most things, and he believes that music always has something to say, and everyone always has things that would want that they would word and it would wind up in fruition. So Nas said we all have to represent a space and time in music that becomes a song or a statement or a message that's timeless, and he feels like the hip hop is ahead of its time, hence the title Light Years. And by the way, I did an immense amount of research on this Light Year, so I am reading from my notes. Anyway, this is one of the first times since Illmatic that DJ Premier and Nas have collaborated on an album. Actually, this is their first album they curated together. But DJ Premier and Nas have worked on many of Nas's hit songs, so for me, it was like, stepping back into a time machine. Nas has been nasty since 91, so definitely he brought that energy. So I want to jump into my honorable mentions of Light Years, the album, before I get into my standout tracks. Ooh, had to drink some water, honey. Hmm. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the honorable mentions on Light Years. New York State of Mind, Part 3. The rapping is always going to be immaculate when it comes to Nas. I mean, he taught niggas how to rap, let's be real. Now, on this record, New York State of Mind Part 3, the rap was clean, sharp, and sounded like he was on his square. The beat is primo. DJ Premier himself is a pillar of hip hop, a living legend by experience. So, Billy Joel's sample was iconic to me. Wait, before I continue, let me make my predictions for this album, Light Years. All right. Light Years is going to sell out Nas's best-selling album. It was written in 1996, which sold over 3 million copies in the U.S., earning 3 times platinum status and becoming his commercial peak, surpassing his debut Illmatic and I Am. Trust me, listen out for the stats. Now, funny enough, the first New York State of Mind came from Illmatic Part 2, and from I Am, it was the first one, making it Nas's finest works because it was recorded in just one take. One take, y'all. So the sample of New York State of Mind Part 3 was Billy Joel's own New York State of Mind in 1976. Now, Billy Joel is from the Bronx, New York, but he grew up in Long Island, New York. So this made for a really dope sample. So you can see that New York State of Mind Part 3 has been a long-awaited trilogy and one of the greatest rap songs ever made. Okay? The original New York State of Mind Part 3, also known as Streets of New York, never saw an official release as it hit the streets in the early 2000s and featured Rakim and Alicia Keys. I had to look that song up, y'all, because I was like, damn, I didn't even know about that joint. And I heard it and it was dope. So some folks be saying that Nas, he rap over bad beats. And I don't know, because I just hear people say they weren't feeling the Billy Joel sample. But in relation to Nas rapping over quote unquote bad beats is dumb to me, considering he has over a 30-year career. And Nas said himself that he wants people to pay attention more to what he's saying than the beats. The beat wasn't the sample. I mean, the beat wasn't the same as it was in New York State of Mind 1 and 2, but still it was grimy and gritty for hip hop. You know, once you know the backstory of, you know, the logistics of why he did it. Okay, y'all, here we go. I am in complete fan mode. I want to talk about MzHipHop's standout tracks on Light Years with Nas and DJ Premier. Okay. First of all, Bouquet. Yes, to the ladies. All right, Bouquet is an attractively arranged bunch of flowers, especially one presented as a gift or carried at a ceremony. So this track, Bouquet, expresses that delight to all the female MCs, new school and old school in hip hop. The fact Nas represented women rappers from all generations specifies he is indeed the GOAT of hip hop. He is the example of bridging the gap. He is the master of ceremonies and a teacher who will make an example out of you. Nas has and still is giving us history lessons on what it means to be a true legend. Okay. And the track Bouquet, to the ladies, Nas is paying homage to the ladies in general, but specifically, you know, giving a number of female rappers across generation their flowers for contributions to the hip hop culture. Nas revealed that he created Bouquet to celebrate the closer balance in a number of male and female rappers in 2025 compared to the late 1980s, when Salt and Pepper, MC Light, Queen Latifah were the main female rappers in that generation at that time. So the track Bouquet is filled with fun gems, okay? Like with legendary voices such as PMD, LL Cool J, and DJ Premier. Let me break it down, okay? All right. In the line in the start of the song where it goes to the ladies and all the party goers, it's from the track So What You're Saying in 1984. In 1989. It's the first verse on the song. You hear it, like PMD. He's the doctor on the microphone. You know what I'm talking about? He's who became, like, before Nas. Also, the second line in Bouquet where it says, and if you know who you are, why don't you make yourself seen? Comes from the 1987 LL Cool J vocal sample from I Need Love. It was only right to use this sample because it fits so well with the style and the flow of the song Bouquet. I like how Nas gave props to Faith Newman, who was a woman that signed Nas. Faith Newman is an A&R executive who founded who focused on heavy on hip hop at the time. She started out in 1987 at Def Jam Records, working with legendary rappers such as Slick Rick and LL Cool J. In 1991, she got a new job at the Columbia Records, where she was leading its new hip hop department. And the first rapper she signed to the label was none other than Nas, who started to work on Illmatic, and she was one of the executive producers at that of that album and supported him during the work process. So that was dope. Hence Nas once again showing love to women and giving them their flowers. I love when Nas shouts out every female rapper from Meg Thee Stallion to Rod Digger, bringing more female energy. I love the line when Nas says, yeah, divine feminine, beyond fine shit. Not a ting, not a joints when my eyes squints. Meaning that this line could be a double entendre, because the joint could be weed making his eyes squint while looking at fine women. And Nas's train of thought is we need to think beyond calling women fine and hot and think of them as beautifully divine energy. Yes. DJ Premier did his thing on the beats using the soulful track Here Comes the Sun by Eugene Record, bringing a classic and a warm vibe with Premier's signature scratching, adding that feel-good boom bap and making that beat come alive. Y'all. Excuse me, let me drink my water. Ooh, Lord. All right, y'all. My second standout track on Nas's Light Years would be Get Ready. Now, off rip, I love how Nas embodied Biggie's flow used on the 1994, I think, 112 track Only You, featuring Mace and the Notorious B.I.G. This was the Bad Boy remix one. It was definitely a direct acknowledgement to the late and great Biggie Smalls, okay? I also like how Nas came on the track as both a businessman and an MC. I also like the beat and the scratches laid down over the track. Primo beat, you know what I'm talking about? Like Primo beat. Yes, DJ Premier did his thing, man. I like how DJ Premier produced the many samples. Like the main sample was from Wilson Pickett's Get Me Back on Time, Engine Number 9 in 1972. That was the main core of the beat, like the backbone of the beat. However, the vocal samples were from cuts and loops and snippets from Nas classics like It Ain't Hard to Tell and Straight Dreams. The vocal samples were adding layers of nostalgia. Very clever idea, if you ask me, because like I said, Light Years album is like stepping into a lyrical time machine. Now let's talk about the other added samples that make Get Ready a gritty beat. The beat also takes from Rusty Wire's Queen of My Dreams in the first 7 seconds of the song. Then the track Get Ready also samples De La Soul's Let the King Ascend in the first minute. And that came out in 2014, Let the Kings Ascend. You know, when the song says play that a nigga his chips, yeah, another dope vocal sample DJ Premier took from Push It Along by a Tribe Called Quest. The boom, the bip, the boom bip. Yes, love Q-Tip's voice on that clip. My next standout track from Nas and DJ Premier's Light Years would be Junkie. Yes. Right away, the sample got me in the start of the track when you hear a woman say, I kept telling myself I was going to kick it, but I never did. I'm a junkie. I'll be a junkie the rest of my life. Now, that line is from the 1991 film New Jack City by Warner Brothers Pictures. Another sample is from P. Rhyme featuring Ab Soul and Mac Miller in the song That Sound Good when he says, and that's serious as a heart attack. I'm an ancient artifact. We question if your art is facts. Love that line. Now, if you listen real closely, you'll hear the sample from the 1996 track, the Liquidator closing version. That part of the song where it goes, da 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 da, in the beginning on the track, Junkie. All right. Okay, reason number one, besides the great samples I just mentioned, why I love this song Junkie by Nas and DJ Premier Light Years, is because of the personification used throughout to describe hip hop music as being addictive, which in turns makes the listener a junkie for hip hop. So we're all fiends of the music, which is an addictive energy. Now, Nas definitely, channels that into something positive or constructive rhymes that leads toward an appreciation for the culture. Let me say, this entire album was so dope to me. And it made me relive my childhood, taking back further than the 90s. This album, it touched the soul of hip hop by giving the underground scene a chance to breathe, especially in the track writers, or shining the light on the DJs who are the backbone of hip hop, to the fact that he gave back to every female rapper that ever touched the mic and banquet. Thank you so much, Nas and Mass Appeal, for revitalizing hip hop once again, because it needs it every so often. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Nas, shout out to DJ Premier, shout out to all the people that listened in. And don't forget to follow me on Spotify, Speak Your Mind Radio. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Chicago, for listening to my breakdown of Nas and DJ Premier on Light Years Project. Peace.